Let's take a look at this new 3.0 Gogeta. This is by Demoniacal Fit. They're calling this guy Hero Waltz. This is the Gogeta from the Dragon Ball Z movie, Fusion Reborn. As usual, Demoniacal Fit, they always do a good job with their boxes, even though my box is kind of banged up. So you have some nice pictures on the back, some posing ideas for the figure. On the front, you get your figure silhouette, and then a huge open window to see your figure, just in case you want to store your guys' figure inside of the boxes for the box collectors out there. So I got this guy from AliExpress. It's a store called El Surprise. If you haven't heard of it by now, I'll leave a link in the description below. But this is what you'll get with your purchase. We have several different hands. You get a Stardust effect, Key Blast effect, and then several different faces. So we'll go over the accessories first. Starting out with all these hands here. So for the first set of hands, we have some open palm hands and just your standard stuff. But this guy has a lot of open palm hands. So the next set is another set of open palm hands. And these ones are kind of like grasping hands, I guess you can say. You kind of have him holding his arm and shooting a key blast. Those look good. Next he has his karate posing hands, standard stuff, and some more open palm hands. A lot of these hands can be used for blast effects and or other posing ideas that you have. A lot of different hands that the figure comes with, which is good. And then for the last hand, this is the hand that you plug the Stardust effect in. And this effect looks pretty dope. I mean, it kind of looks like a lollipop, but at the same time, Stardust, it definitely looked like this. It's kind of like pink, orange, and silver at the top. So not bad for a blast effect. And the hands are is pretty durable plastic, or the PVC is what they're calling it, right? So you get that iconic pose out of Gogeta. And not bad for hands and accessory pieces. You can't have the Dragon Ball Z Gogeta without his Stardust effect. He has a good amount of faces also. And I'm using this thing to grab it out because it's hard to get it out the box. But for the first face here, we have a smirking face. And to be honest, I don't think that these face plates are very accurate to what Gogeta looks like. But it is good that we do have like an updated version of the figure. So I think honestly this looks more like Gohan. But only if the bang was on the other side, because when Gohan turns Super Saiyan, his bang is on the other side. It'll definitely look good. It looks good on a Gohan body. So next is the yelling face. And the yelling face looks okay. The faces look okay. Like, it's got good detail and things like that. But I think as far as accuracy and what Gogeta looks like, it is not very accurate, if you get what I'm saying. For the next face is a teeth gritting face. And they added like a little piece of detail on the bottom left of the cheek. That kind of makes it pop a little bit. So this is one of the better looking teeth gritting faces. So not bad for face plates. And the face that he comes with out of the box, as well as the hands that he comes with, is the straight looking forward face, or like a static looking face. So getting this figure out of the box, and I had him for a little while now, so I was already playing with him and things like that, posing him, but the arms and the shoulders were super tight. So I already oiled them up with some Traxxas shock oil. Also the neck peg was really tight. So after you get that all loosened up and things like that, the figure feels like butter. Demoniacal Fit is probably like the closest thing to machination. So looking at the figure up close, the hair sculpt looks pretty good. But again, speaking on accuracy, it's not the most accurate hair and face combination for Gogeta, but it does look better from what we came from before. And that's the Tamashii Nation's head sculpt, which was the only Gogeta that we had to choose from, which was the 2.0 body. But and we've come a long way from, you know, these face plates that Tamashii Nations had printed out before. I'm not sure when this 2.0 Gogeta came out, but it's definitely years old. So Definitely updated from that. Both of these aren't accurate, or like super accurate, I would say, to Gogeta, but this does look good nonetheless. So he does have his halo on top, and you're able to take that out if you wanted to. But with this Dragon Ball Z version of Fusion Reborn Gogeta, he definitely had the halo on. They did change this up a lot with I guess you call these shoulder wraps. Instead of them being plugged in to the shoulder, and then you can see like a lot of the shoulder at the top, they added a lot to where they can like hide that part. So you get an extra black piece on top of the shoulder, and then another black piece over that to get the cup and ball joint thing, and then the jacket over that. So I really like that style. It makes it more seamless, and it looks a lot better aesthetically speaking. This is the 2.0 that I just repainted. I had to make a custom to get the Dragon Ball Z Gogeta. So now we have an actual Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn Gogeta, and it's a 3.0, so it's a plus. But just looking at the differences between 2.0 to 3.0, I'll put 3.0 on the right side. The musculature is not too far off, but it's still a little bit more bulkier. And then the torso area is definitely thicker. And then obviously the legs, and then his ankle wraps are a little bit longer for the 3.0. The details on this guy, this is pretty much all just skin tone plastic. He has the black wrist straps there. This is rubber plastic for the jacket. This entire piece is rubber, and it's kind of put on like Trunks' boy from the future, so you could definitely take that off. Like I mentioned before, the black wrapped around the cup and ball peg joint, and then that extra black piece that goes over the shoulder. I really like that. This is the accurate blue for Fusion Reborn Gogeta. There's like a very small amount of shading on the pants that you could barely tell, but at least there is some. Not much in the back, more so only in the front. It's kind of like lightly bluish airbrushed on there. Then we have the blue rubber plastic for the ankle wraps again. And then the bottom of the shoe is painted gray with the black plastic. So not a bad look for a 3.0 Gogeta. This is Demoniacal Fit's Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but just to show the feet, they definitely reused that and repainted it. The articulation for this guy is really good. You get a full 360 on his shoulders once you get those nice and oiled up with the Traxxas oil, the shock oil. The shoulders can go up about that far. And then with this butterfly joint, it's the cup and ball peg thing, just like Trunks' boy from the future, Gohan, and a few other 3.0s. But again, I like the way they hid that in there. It doesn't look like the other one when you're getting the butterfly joint moving and things like that. Like this thing wiggles around, and then you're just kind of left seeing his shoulder. So really good attention to details there for Demoniacal Fit. The bicep swivel is good. The bicep swivel on the right side of this guy, for my copy at least, was super tight, so I had to lube it up really good. Wrist joints are the same. This part also comes off as well, so I'd say be careful with that when you're swapping out his hands. Sometimes you'll pull the whole thing off, so just kind of grab it right there. The wrist pegs are pretty solid. I don't think we have to worry about these ones breaking either. I always like to mention that because it sucks when we get a figure and then the wrist pegs are all like brittle. The head is on a 3.0 double ball peg style, so you're gonna get really good head and neck articulation. Fits on there nice and tight, but side to side tilt's good. You can go all around with that. He tilts his head down into his chest pretty far. But if you go too far, you kind of get a split in his faceplate. But I would say about right there before you stress it out, and that's not bad at all. It doesn't really look up that far because this part of the strap on his jacket is kind of hindering that. If I could get both arms to go inside, it could reach in pretty good. That's far enough to get some good Kamehameha poses and other poses out of that. Reach into the back, and look at that, how that's still seamless. I really like that. Reaches back pretty far, not too bad. The ab crunch on this guy, for the upper body, you barely get any ab crunch at all going forward, but going backwards, that's not too bad. So some powering up poses and things like that. Side to side tilt, not much. They give you a little leeway there. This can go on a full 360. This is nice and loose. It's not too wobbly though, but it is loose. It wasn't squeaky or anything like that. You don't really get any swivel in his upper abdomen to chest area. And then for the splits forward and backwards, he has a huge butt pad here, just like the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So he doesn't split to the back, but his leg can go all the way forward. And then this thigh swivel is super loose. Not crazy loose to where it's like, oh my gosh, like I need a new figure, but it feels like nice and buttery smooth. Double jointed knees look good. And then down to the ankle rocker here, you get a good tilt there, front and back, if this, or left and right. This would be left then. It doesn't go far left, but it does go far in to get some nice kicking poses. Can tilt down about that far, and then tilt up about that far. And then this toe hinge is nice and smooth too. Like this area is all smooth, and unless you oil this guy up, you know, it will be squeaky, but there's not much squeak in mine anymore. That's because I did use the Traxxas oil. So definitely get you some of that in hand. Definitely come in handy for your figures. His belt strap can move, you know, up and down to get some nice wind blowing looks there. Another thing that I forgot to mention, that these pieces do come off, just like the 2.0s. And then there you see the extra black piece, but I see a lot of people posing. I mean, obviously we're gonna get them in this pose with the Stardust effect. And from what I've seen from everybody's posing and things like that, everybody is like having this orange piece at the bottom, and that looks all funky. But since this thing does come off, like just take it off and then put it back on the top side. That way you can get a more accurate look, because all this does is just pegs in. So now you can have the strap on the top part. So this is good to get him in a more accurate pose with his Stardust effect here. And get his arm like a little straighter, just like that. Now you can get a more accurate looking Gogeta on your shelf, and it makes this figure look a whole lot better just by, you know, switching that strap to the top side. So we'll get some height comparisons here, and I could put them next to Goku and Vegeta. The height and scale comparison with Demoniacal Fit is usually spot on. They do a good job with their scaling to other SH Figuarts figures or Bandai and things like that. Here he is next to the 3.0 Goku and Vegeta. And here he is next to the 3.0 Gohan, or both 3.0 Gohans, adult and kid version. And here he is next to Gogeta and Vegito 2.0. And here he is next to Tauntaun Artois Trunks and a 3.0 Vegito Battle Damage from Beast Deities. And those are two like taller figures, but he still fits in scale well with, you know, many of the 3.0s that's coming out. So I think overall for this figure, it's not too bad. I would give like the aesthetic look maybe 8 out of 10. I really like the body, but the face sculpt, or the face plate and the head sculpt, is not very accurate, at least to me. Everybody's different. Articulation, it is a 3.0. I think that maybe we could get a little bit more articulation than that, so maybe an 8 out of 10 also. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a really good figure. The price was around $50, and maybe a different price at other places, but Look to spend about 50 to 60 bucks to get you a 3.0 Gogeta to add to your collection. So again, I got mine off of AliExpress. It was a store called lsurprisestore.com. I think they recently switched their name to Treasure Toys, unless they're just running 2 stores. But I'll leave the link in the description below as to where you can get this guy. I'll leave several links so you guys don't miss out. But if you feel like this video was helpful, you can go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to keep an eye out for my next videos to come, go ahead and subscribe. Until then, thank you for watching.